No, I did not say that. Okay, let's look at the packet now. Okay, let's look at number 1 together. But we're going to be using this image. Okay, when we use this image right here, okay, we just looked at this right here. Okay, so we pretty much just said what was congruent about these. All right. Well, when we have 2 pairs of parallel lines like this, okay, there's like 4 sets of that. Because if I look at it like this, okay, that's just the same thing but like sideways. So like if I said alternate, what's an example of alternate interior with these? Just say it out loud. 2 and 11, 4 and 9. What's an example of alternate exterior? 12 and 1, 3 and 10. Okay, and then we can find corresponding as well. Okay, so that's an example where we can see it sideways. Okay, this is also another way where it has the 2 parallel lines, okay, and the angle transversal, and then also right here. Okay, so just make sure you pay attention to that, okay, because we have to prove, we're going to see a lot of them. It's like where we have to prove one angle from this corner to like an angle over here to this corner. Okay, but we cannot just automatically say any of these are congruent. All right, you have to go side to side in order to say the diagonal ones are congruent. Does that make sense when I say diagonal? Okay, so like I can't say these are congruent to these yet, but we can get to that step, and then I can't say these are congruent to these. Okay, so that's what we're doing, is we're just proving when we have one angle over here is congruent to one angle over here. Okay, but we have to walk it through steps to get over here first, then to get down here or something like that. Okay, so when we have this one, okay, I don't know why on a couple of these, when it has this mark right here, this is just saying that A is parallel to B. Okay, and this is saying that C is parallel to D. All right, and that's what those marks are showing, that they're parallel. Okay, and we have to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 13. All right, when we look at the first one, what do you think our first reason is going to be? Given. Okay, it's still going to be given every single time. Okay, we have given. All right, now when I look at the next one, okay, I need to pay attention to where these angles are. So it says angle 1 is congruent to angle 12. So it's this angle right here and this angle right here. All right, what kind of angles are those? They're alternate exterior, so that's my reason. Alternate exterior, it's technically alternate exterior theorem, but you can just put because they're alternate exterior angles. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the theorem part. I just know, okay, you know that they are alternate exterior angles. Okay? Okay, so now we have angle 12 and angle 13. What can I say about those two angles? They're alternate interior, so that's my reason. Okay. Finally, I have angle 1 is congruent to angle 13. All right. Now, this is when I have angle 13 there, okay, and angle 1's up here, okay? But there's a reason I can say they're congruent now. Does anyone remember how? It is transitive property. Okay, it's going to be transitive property. We're going to be using a lot of transitive property today. Okay, so pay attention. I'm going to zoom in if I can. Okay, the transitive property is if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. All right, if I look at my angles right here, okay, this is the same thing as saying if A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. Okay, because this is my A, this is my C. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 13 because they're both congruent to angle 12. Okay, do we have questions about that? So do we feel pretty good about it? Why is this not letting me zoom out? Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's it for the first one. Now, biggest thing that you just have to pay attention to is when we are just given two sets of parallel lines, okay, and it tells us to prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 13, okay, we need to start with one of those angles, okay? So that's why it starts with angle 1 here, and then it eventually gets to angle 13, okay? Because we have to see both of those angles before we're able to prove it on the bottom, okay? And both of those angles have to be congruent to the same angle. So that's what we're doing on those. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, we're given that A is parallel to B and we have the same image right here. Okay, so when we have this, all right, what's my first reason going to be? Okay, given, perfect. All right, you automatically know one of them. This one's going to be a little different from the last one because we have to prove that angle 9 plus angle 14 equals 180. Okay, well, it gives us right here angle 9 plus angle 11 equals 180. When I look at that, okay, angle 9 is right here, angle 11 is right here. Why can I say they add up to equal 180? Because they're what? They're a linear pair. And do we remember what linear pair means? It's two adjacent angles that equal 180. Okay, so these are adjacent angles because they're right next to each other. All right, they share this same side right here. All right, and they share the same vertex. Okay, so this is just going to be stating that they're linear pairs. And that's going to be your reason for that one. Okay, now I have angle 11 equals angle 14. All right, how can I say that? Alternate interior. Those are alternate interior angles. Okay, perfect. All right, this one, I can't say transitive property, okay, because it's not two different sets of congruent angles. We're proving that angle 9 plus angle 14 equals 180. How do I know that? What did I just do? Now, always look at the previous two steps, okay, and look at the angles and what happens, okay? And just like Quinn said, it's going to be substitution property, okay? Because when I have angle 9 plus angle 11 equals 180, all right, I just said angle 11 equals angle 14. So I'm just going to substitute this 14 and put it into this equation, all right? And that's what this is right here. It's the same equation, we just plugged in 14 for 11 because they're equal to each other. All right, do we have questions about this one? All right, and here's the last example that we will have, okay? For the difference between the three. So this one says we are given that G is parallel to H, okay, and P is parallel to R. Or no, not, we don't know it's parallel, we have to prove it, okay? But we're told that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Okay, what's my first reason going to be? Okay, given. Perfect. All right. How do I know angle 1 is congruent to angle 13 or angle 3? What kind of angles are those? No. 1 and 3. Not horizontal. What was the one of the angles we talked about earlier? Corresponding. These are corresponding. Mm-hmm. Okay. And here's the tricky part. All right. It says angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Now, do these look like corresponding angles? Okay. They do look like corresponding angles, so you would think we put corresponding here. But here's the issue. Okay? When we do these angle transversals, okay? This image right here. All right? These two lines are parallel every time in order for it to work. Well, this time, do we know if P and R are parallel yet? We don't know if they're parallel, so we can't say corresponding, all right, because that's what we're proving. But how can I say angle 2 is congruent to angle 3 without saying they're corresponding? Yeah. No. They're congruent to each other. Let's look at our previous steps. We have angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. So since angle 2 and 3 are congruent to angle 1, we can say they're congruent to each other because of transitive property. So again, this is like if A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. So that would be transitive property. Finally, we can say P is parallel to R, all right? And this one, this is going to be called, it's going to be corresponding, okay? Converse. Now, does converse ring a bell? Other than the shoes. Have we used this word before? Perhaps yes. You can say it's converse, but it's converse. We used this in chapter 1. Does anyone remember when we used it? It was the if-then statements. Now, do you remember when we had inverse, converse, and contrapositive? With the sentences, if and then? Okay, that's when we use the word converse. So some of you remember, some of you don't. When we had converse, when we had an if-then statement, when we had converse, it flipped the then and if. So it just moved them. So it was like, it was our then statement, then our if statement. Is this ringing a bell at all? Okay. Converse was flipping it. Okay. That's what we're doing in these proofs is instead of knowing that it's parallel, whenever we prove that two lines are parallel, okay, you have to use converse. All right. And it's corresponding converse because we know that 2 and 3 are congruent now. So we can say they're corresponding angles now. Okay. Makes a little sense, hopefully. Okay. Flip to your 5th page. It's the. Did yours print off in color? Did you have is it pink? Okay, no. Flip to the one that has a bridge. It says geometric proofs proving lines are parallel. Go to that. It should look just like this. I have it on the screen now. Okay. It's really not. No, it's really not that much work. Okay. Let's just talk about it. You're going to use this image for all of them. Okay? Now, these are mini proofs. Okay? Now, when I look at this number 1, all right, it has 2 statements, 2 reasons. What's my first statement going to be? What I'm given. So I'm going to put angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. what's my reason? Given. What do I always put as the last statement? What we're proving. So you automatically know 3 of the boxes out of the 4. Yeah. I guess it's dope. Yeah. So now we're proving that lines are parallel. So what's the one word I said we have to use? No. Converse. Okay? But when we look at this image above, okay, how can I say angle 1 and angle 8 are congruent? They're alternate exterior. So my reason is alternate exterior converse. Okay? Because that's how angle 1 and angle 8 are congruent if M and N are parallel. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's look at the next one. All right? Fill out what you automatically know. So go ahead and fill that out. Hey, what are we filling out, you two? Well, what? That was the worst answer you probably could have said.
I think he needs some new shoes, like some toes. Let's go.
All right. So now when I look at the image above, all right, I just need my last reason. How can I say angle 1 and angle 5 are congruent? What kind of angles are they? Corresponding. So that's going to be corresponding converse. Because we're proving 2 lines are parallel. Whenever you prove 2 lines are parallel, you use converse. All right, I want you to do 3 through 10 on your own. 3 through 10, you guys can do these. So do 3 through 10, and we'll check back in like 5 minutes. Yep, stop at 10. All right, but you automatically already know 3 of the boxes on each of them. Get them all done?
I think I got the first two right.
Mm-hmm.
And I got all the three given.
You can figure these out. Use this image. You're going to use this image for all of them.
Okay.
You get them? Yeah. Yeah, you can figure out the rest. All right, I want you to figure out all the boxes. Okay? Make sure you use that image for all of them. All right, but you guys can figure out 1 through 10 on your own. Mm-hmm. It had interior, but what was that first word in front of it? Do you remember? Do you figure?
Yeah.
What's this? What's?
Supplement.
Well, that's not one. You would have to put something in front of it, but that's erase those two. What goes in front of interior here? What's that word? Nope. What was the other one we learned? No. What was the fourth one? The one that adds up to 180. It's something interior, but not alternate. And that would be the same one for this one. So see if you can try to remember what was the one we talked about at the beginning? Source of the sea. No.
Convert.
No. No. Do you figure it out? Source of the sea. Mm-hmm. That's not. Not Converse. They're trying to come up with this word. Mm-hmm. Consecutive interior. And yes, you can go to the bathroom. Don't you still need to take your test? Or no, you took it, right?
No, I took it. That was that day.
And I put it in, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I
Okay, I think so too. Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
We did that. 2 and 7 is like the same as 1 and 8.
And 1 and 5.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. There you go. All right, I'll give you like 1 more minute, and then we'll discuss all of them.
You do anything? I know all of them actually. Do they?
Did you?
Yeah, you know. Too easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at this. All right, number 3. I know you should automatically already know these boxes. Let's just talk about the last box for each of them. So what should I have gotten? Corresponding converse. Perfect. What about number 4? Alternate exterior converse. Perfect. Okay, do we have questions about those two before I go to the next page? All right, let's go to the next page. Number 5, what should my reason be?
Interior.
Alternate interior converse. Make sure you have converse on all of these. What about 6? Corresponding converse. 7. Alternate interior. Perfect, sorry. All right, number 8. Corresponding converse. Number 9, this was tricking a couple people. These are consecutive interior, okay? Because remember when consecutive interior, all right, they added up to equal 180. So that's what's happening right here. Okay, so make sure you have consecutive interior right here. All right, I'm just abbreviating it. Oh, and that's number 10 as well. My bad. That's what you should have got for 10. Okay, do we have questions about these? I hope you can find them somewhat easy. Let's go ahead and look at 11 and 12 together. Okay. Now, in order for us to prove that two lines are parallel, okay, the angles have to be congruent. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in what we automatically know. All right, we already automatically know angle 3, measure of angle 3 equals the measure of angle 7. And that's given. And then eventually I have to prove, okay, that M is parallel to N. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now, these two angles are equal. I have to say that they're congruent. So since they're equal, I can now say that they're congruent. But does anyone know what my reason would be for this one? We're not at that yet. When two angles are equal, but we change them to congruent. We talked about this last week. What was our reason for that? Definition of congruent angles. Okay. Because in order for us to prove that the two angles or the two lines are parallel, we have to know that these angles are congruent. Okay, so that's all you're adding to this one is that instead of them being equal, okay, they're congruent. All right, and then what kind of angles are 3 and 7? Corresponding, okay? So corresponding, what should go after corresponding? Converse. All right, let's look at number 12. Fill in what do you automatically know. So go ahead and do that. Okay. This one, okay, the two angles added up together equal 180. All right, what is it called when two angles are added up to equal 180? Supplementary, okay? So all we have to say this time is just angle 3 and angle 5 are supplementary. I'm going to abbreviate it so because I don't have a lot of room. And what would my reason be for this? Definition of supplementary angles. All right, and then finally, okay, my last statement is M is parallel to N. What would my reason be for this? Not alternate interior, consecutive interior. Converse. Okay, finally, let's look at these two. All right. Now, for this one, it looks like, okay, it has 5 statements, 5 reasons, okay? But for some reason, put your first given as M, the measure of angle 1 equals 29 degrees. Put that as your first statement. Your second statement, put measure of angle 8 equals 29 degrees. Okay? So your first two are given. You won't have to worry about it. Just on this one, they just did it that way. But just go ahead and do it, and we'll just follow what it has. Now, when we have this one, okay, it says the measure of angle 1 equals 29 degrees. The measure of angle 8 equals 29 degrees. Why do you think I could say the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 8? Yeah, they both equal the same amount. This is going to be substitution. Okay? Substitution is going to be my reason. It's not transitive because it's not all working with just like angles. Does that make sense? Since there's some values, some angles, this can be substitution. It's substituting those two values. Okay, so they equal each other. Okay? All right? Now, I have the two angles equal each other. What do I have to do next? Because what do I have to make them? How do I make them congruent? Yeah, we just say angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. That's going to be definition of congruent angles. And then when looking at your image, how do I know that angle 1 and angle 8 are congruent? They're alternate exterior. So I put alternate exterior, converse. Perfect. Go ahead and do number 14 on your own. Okay. Use number 13 to help you. Mhm. All right. Once you're done, check your answer. This is what you should have got. Okay, make sure that matches. All right, it was just like the last one, except for the last reason is going to be slightly different. Okay, once you check that, I'm going to give us just the next 5 minutes. Just kind of do whatever. All right, take a little brain break. So go ahead and do that. That's going to be our next 5 minutes. We'll be back at 1:20. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's what they all say. And then I hear them saying, oh, sorry. Good job. That you need a 70 to pass? Yeah. The first time I got 95 units. Oh, like you did? You actually drove? Yeah. Oh, I never had to do that. A little bit far from the road. And then I also forgot to look behind me when I was like backing out, so that was kind of. And You just reversed without looking? And you passed?
Yes. And like on the hill, I also didn't know how to
Wait
turn
till
my headlights on.
Noah gets back.
But like on a hill, I didn't know you were supposed to like turn your blinker on and then
Sorry?
you just like turn. Like you know when you're like have to pull over on the side of the road. No, just like pulling over.
Yeah, if you're pulling over.
Just like when I'm like pulling on the side of the road.
just like pulling over on the side of the road.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. We still passed it.
When was Noah in there?
Oh. I definitely didn't do that.
Noah's definitely like in the lunchroom. But there's no lunch right now. Probably the locker room. Yeah. Are you warm? Yeah. No.
You don't have to.
That was close, but you did. Shut up.
That's what Riley.
Oh, really? What was he doing? Just getting in there?
I've never had to. No, you just get a new license. Well, you get a new license when you turn 21 because then you're horizontal. But I don't remember them checking my eyesight. And then I got a new ID because I moved to Missouri. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I can't understand.
Oh, awesome. I know. To move over. To pull over, make sure I use my.
I don't even know what's in it. I saw on something.
It's okay. I don't know car brands at all. Sounds alright. Little birdie told me.
Oh, she was yeah.
You were on the back of, you were on the front. I was in your front.
You were crying. I thought you were gonna hit the house.
So you're already driving to school?
No, I have to go get my like actual thing. So it's safe right now. I can't drive on it.
Hey,
She said no. I can't.
what?
No. No, not the one that's in the like the paper one.
Yeah. Wait.
There's a paper
Oh,
one
do you have
and
your
then
paper ID?
No.
Oh, she does not have her paper ID.
So she can't drive. Paper license is yeah.
You haven't taken your picture yet.
I have.
She does not have her picture.
Oh, I learned how to parallel park today.
No, I didn't. She asked, I took the picture and she asked what was wrong with my eyes. I don't really, I said it was small.
No way she actually asked.
Yeah, she was like, are your eyes okay? What's wrong?
I took my picture and she was like, I think I'm gonna redo it. Because it like the sound came before it flashed. So I was smiling and then I just like went so like my eyes were squinted from my smiling, but I had no smile. No, it was bad. Even I was like, yeah, please, can I please retake that? So they're always bad. Alright, go ahead, head back to your seats. Your original seats. Your original seats. We didn't even. Why did you put substitution there? We never talked about that. Or actually, no, that was substitution. My bad. But you can't. You have to put st after it, because then it can be subtraction.
Alright, so is this part the interior? And this is the exterior?
Yes. but only for this way. Because like, what if you look at it from this way? Then these are your exterior, and then these are okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, how am I supposed to look at it?
From any way,
I did.
but it just depends on what angles you're working with. All right, head back to your seats, please.
How much time do we have left?
Till the bell rings.
Really?
Sure.
Actually, that's too much time.
I know your guys' fun is gonna be over soon.
This is not fun.
I know it's not, but then the next chapter I promise is easy.
Nothing's easy.
I know it is. I know. But that's why we're just doing it now to get out of the way. What do you mean? No. No. The next chapter is really easy.
This is the hardest thing we learned all year.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, put your computers away. Go back to your original seats, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop out.
Weston, Katie.
Yeah, this is 50. This is 30. I got
Bro, it's because we had a pop quiz.
I got a 62 in English. I cooked it. I ain't even know English.
Weston. Katie, move. No. No. I'm making her move. Because it wouldn't be fair for me to just make you move, but not her. No, it would. No. All right. Now, let's go ahead and go to number 4. And write down the numbers 1, 2, 3. Right, and 1, 2, 3. That's just how many statements and how many reasons there are.
Where's the box?
Sorry?
Where's the box?
There you go. I'm going to give you guys the statements. I want to see if you can get the reasons. You should automatically already know one of them. Thank you. Perfect. Okay? But use the previous 3 to help you out on the next ones. Figure out why 1 and 3 are congruent. And figure out how we can prove that angle 5 is congruent to angle 3. Okay? You guys can do this. I'll just say use number 1 to help you out. All right? And use the image. The image is just a little different than number 1, but make sure you use this image. Are you actually cold? I'll move it up. You should automatically already know the first one. Use number 1 to help you. It's the second page. Okay, you can't just put alt.
I'm trying to think which one it is.
There's only one kind of alt, but it's not alternate. Huh? We'll go over it, but if that's what you think, yeah.
I'm lost.
How can we figure out 1 and 3 are congruent? Well, yeah. But how do we know that? What's our reason? Use this. What 2 numbers are just like 1 and 3?
1 and 3.
No. Are those in the same spots?
What do you mean? 1 and 3 would be. 1 is 5.
Okay?
Corresponding.
Yes.
Isn't 3 and 5 corresponding?
Not 3 and 5. No. Use the first proof to help you. Use the first proof to help you. To help you with your last. It's not substitution.
They have Lewis's backflip truck on film. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Weston, what did you get for your first reason? Perfect. The first one's given. First reason.
Yo.
No.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's
For saying that?
yes. You know how math.
Anyways. Angle 1 and angle 3. How do we know those are congruent? What'd you put, Austin? Perfect. They're corresponding angles.
Yes.
Do you know the last one? Okay.
Transitive.
It's transitive. Do you know why? Can you explain why? Because what's transitive property mean? Perfect. Okay. And that's what's happening here. The transit property is happening because, again, it's like if A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. Okay, that's what happens right there. What? Perfect. Okay, wasn't that pretty easy? Okay, no one said yes.
Yes. Sure.
That's what I thought.
I wouldn't call it easy.
I'm giving you the statements though, so that's gonna help.
It's like
Okay, again, this one has 3. So put mark 3. All right, and then I'm gonna give you your statements again. Oh wait. Actually, I'm so sorry. Can you just cross out number 5? I don't want to do this one. No, cross out number 5. I meant to not do that one. Well, like, it has a new theorem, but you guys, I'm taking some theorems out so you don't have to learn those as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and learn.
So I think that's okay, right?
It's okay.
Hey, guess what? It doesn't matter. We're doing math. What do you want to do in your future? Yeah, you need math, stats. You'll be doing a lot of math. You'll be doing math. You work with cash all the time.
Brain surgeon.
I'm a little scared for your guys' futures, but that's okay.
Actually, I already know.
If I'm a brain surgeon, I'll have to do math.
Yes, you will.
All I know is I'm super rich. What?
All right, number 6 has a triangle. Eventually, in chapter 4, we'll talk about triangles, so don't get too excited yet, because we have to wait a chapter. Yeah, I know. Okay? See if you can figure out the reasons. I'm going to give you a hint, though. All right, when you have this triangle, it says that CD is parallel to AB. Okay? Think about it. You don't have to draw it like this. But if AB is parallel to CD, think about it as an angle transversal. Okay? So see how that's what we normally work with, but just a little slanted? Or it's to the side? Look at it like this to help you out.
It's an interesting way to look at it.
I know. Isn't it kind of cool though? It is not subjective. There's no substitution in this one. But use the last one to help you, okay? You're given that CD is parallel to AB, and you're given that angle 2 is congruent to angle 1. There you go.
Oh, interior? It's not all. It stands for. It's not all. Exterior.
No. Because it's on the inside. Look at this. Look at this. See, it's on the inside, not at the outside.
Can't be special.
Oh, that is. Are we your worst class, Mr. Sandstrom?
Huh?
Are we your worst class?
Hey, I'm 4. I'm not getting
Mr. Sandstrom, just send him away. Send him out.
Because he wanted to restart.
All right. Let's look at this. What's my first reason going to be? Given. Perfect.
And then it's alternate interior.
Okay. You look at angle 1 and angle 3. Perfect. Weston got it. Alternate interior. Okay, just wait. No. All right. Colton, then what's our last reason?
I didn't get that one.
We'll ask your friend over there.
Yo, Weston, Jesse.
Transitive. That's what you should have got.
Okay, now you have to give it to them.
No.
Is that his pencil?
He has a laser pen shining in my eyes.
Where is it?
I've been shining his eyes. It's put up.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
It's going up.
That's what I want you to do.
Dude, I think Colin gave me a headache.
Go to page 3. Cross out 7.
Kevin, this
What a guy.
You tried to hide it.
What a guy.
Cross out 7, 8, and 9. You know, I don't think he's really like 8 either. You know.
Yeah.
8, yeah, 8 looks more.
Eight.
Eight reminds me of me.
It's just giving off bad vibes.
Yeah. Feels like I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do smart. See, it has 4. Only get it to 3. 4's too much.
Yeah.
We call it the 4.
Here's what I'm going to do. What you're going to do the last 5 minutes is 15, is you just need to figure out not the whole proofs. I'm going to give you all the statements, so make sure you write them down. Yeah. Huh? Let me just write these down first. 7.
There's no 7.
Well, you can't get out of here.
Yeah.
It's a-
Yeah, chop chop.
Kansas
I feel like
sucks.
we should work on this.
no.
Bandwagon.
Miss Sandstrom, were you born in Kansas?
Yes. Well, luckily you're solving it, so I won't be able to tell you.
Kansas or Missouri?
Yeah, what's your favorite state? Kansas or Missouri?
Kansas.
That's crazy.
There's like nothing
Are you
in
like a
Kansas,
farmer?
man.
Yeah, are you like a farmer or something?
Why? What's in Missouri?
Kansas City.
Dodge?
Kansas City is literally in Kansas and Missouri.
I feel like that.
Arches?
I feel like it's mainly in Missouri.
It is.
All right, here you go.
What's Kansas got?
Give the reasons, and I'm going to check these tomorrow.
You got the orange, you got the cheese, you got the royals. What you got, Kansas?